Greetings and welcome to another episode of Pop's Collection. I'm Ron Tweedy, joining me is Pops, and today we're going to do something a little bit different in the spirit of St. Valentine's Day. We're going to go ahead and do another list show and talk about our top 5 couples. So, welcome.
Welcome. Love is in the air.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, this is will be the day after Valentine's Day when this comes out. So,
Right.
But yeah, good thing. This was kind of a tough one,
Was it?
in some ways.
Okay.
Well, because there are quite a lot of couples, and there are actually some heroes that have had actually different,
Right.
met with different couples. So,
Sure.
I thought long and hard about it, and I did choose to do, I'm going to say a couple of comic strip couples, but really they also had their own comic books too. So
Sure.
there's a lot, as even couples with the shirt that you've got,
Yeah.
So yeah. How was it for you? Easy peasy cheesy? You got it all figured out real quick, or?
Yeah, well, I had almost exclusively Marvel characters on mine, so just ended up that way. So, but
Well, that's cool.
My final list, though, is not. We might. I think before we go do our number ones, we should talk about other honorable mentions if you want to do that. But we can.
We could do that. We could do that before we get to number one.
We can go ahead. And
that
get
would
started.
Be a great one. Okay.
All right. Good deal. All right. Let me see here. I'm going to share my screen and
top 5 we're doing.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Here. Share screen. There we go.
Awesome. Top 5 couples. Okay. Right. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
Okay. Well, I think the last one we did, we used, I think you went first, so I'm going to go first this time, and then we'll take it from there. Okay.
That's great. Sure.
Right. Good deal. All right. So first one for me is Ant-Man and the Wasp, and this is specifically the Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne of the MCU. I know that the original Ant-Man and Wasp, which is Hank Pym and Janet.
Yes.
Not necessarily the most healthy couple as the years progressed. Things got kind of bad there for a little bit, but I think that at least as far as the movies are concerned, I like the Scott Lang and Hope together. So
all right, so it's actually an Ant-Man and the Wasp reboot.
Sure, if you want to call it that.
I mean, you could say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they had a pretty interesting relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I don't know if you really thought they were going to be together, like in the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
Or like towards the beginning, but it kind of grew into a relationship, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
And this even more so, right? The second movie.
Yeah, definitely the second
one. My favorite roll credits with the dioramas were just like,
oh yeah,
so awesome.
Yeah.
Very impressed. I could watch this movie anytime it came out,
Yeah.
So it was a great, nice love affair.
Okay.
Looking forward to the next movie with them.
Sure. Yeah, Quantumania.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Well, that's pretty much I have for that one. You want to move to your number 5?
Yeah. I'm sure you can't wait. You're waiting with bated breath, right?
Yep. So we got here the classic, a couple so classic. There's a sandwich named after him, at least.
Yes, actually, that's one of the few things. One thing that you can say about this, as far as popularity goes, this strip started in 1930,
mm-hmm.
and at the time, they really were not married.
Okay.
In the very beginning, Dagwood was somewhat of a rich person,
Huh.
and his parents didn't want him to marry Blondie because they felt that she was beneath their class.
Huh.
So it wasn't until February of 1933 that they did get married.
Okay.
And actually, his parents disowned them.
Wow.
And she was actually like the ditzy blonde in the beginning, and
Yeah.
he was the sophisticated man. Once the marriage became, in the comics and became popular,
Sure.
she became all of a sudden the responsible one, and he became like whatever, the comic relief, what have you.
Yeah, extolling the values of being able to nap on a couch,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So,
That is true. That is true. And I actually own about um 15 or 20 of the movies.
yeah.
And I also own the 1950s television series that
Okay.
they had,
Wow.
which was pretty interesting in itself too.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was interesting how that after they got married, they all of a sudden, after being disowned, that they became like the typical middle class America, living, in the
Yeah.
Midwestern states and everything, and they became like the family
Yeah.
that I guess people tried to, example or be an example or exemplify what a family
Yeah.
should be.
Sure.
Playing golf on Saturday,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Huh.
uh, I just have to say that, knowing that, reading that like every Sunday, that was like
Yeah.
the very top of the comics in the old days.
Okay.
Blondie was at the very top, and then you had Peanuts after that.
Right.
But that was like the number one.
Wow. Okay.
All
Cool.
right. So number four.
Yeah, number 4 for me. I picked one that's kind of unconventional, but I do like it a lot. So this is particularly from the Daredevil series and for the Netflix series, and the relationship between Wilson and Vanessa is something very interesting, I find. You have this man who has been for the longest time in the shadows, a lot of trauma that he's dealing with, this smoldering rage that he deals with, and then he meets this woman, and she kind of helps him through a lot of that, and you see the intense love that he has for her, and it's in a weird way, it humanizes this villain that we're supposed to hate, and they do a really good job, and of course, obviously, the performances really is what sells it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So
And her, she definitely has a deep love and affection for him also,
right,
which the way that it's acted out and portrayed, it's just done wonderfully.
right.
And yes, where did you get that picture? That's awesome, man.
Oh, it's from the episode. I think it's the Rabbit in the Snowstorm story.
Oh
Episode.
yes,
Yeah.
a very great picture.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
Yep.
Good choice.
All right.
I also went Marvel for my number 4.
Yeah, and also the same character series. So
Yes, yes, definitely. Looks like that is from the Ultimate Daredevil and Elektra
it is actually,
cover.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I remember that storyline, which was a little bit different.
Mm.
In this storyline, they were both in college
Okay.
at the same time, and
Gotcha.
they both were going after bad guys in different ways. And it came out into the end, if I'm not mistaken, it was like an 8 comic story arc.
Okay.
And at the very end, Elektra asked him to choose. It was either, his crime fighting or her. And of course, he chose the crime fighting in
Yeah.
this particular version.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, there was also a version with oh my gosh, Frank Miller, the one that Frank Miller wrote, if
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken. There was actually Electra died in that series, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, Murdered by Bullseye.
Yes, yes.
Spoiler
So
alert for 40-year-old comic, but anyway.
yeah, yeah. Big spoiler alert. But yeah, I thought long and hard about, and I wanted to have them in there because the story was they did have a very deep relationship.
Yeah,
And so I thought that, hey, why not? I have to have at least one Marvel,
yeah.
if not others, So
Well, no, don't worry, I'm more than made up for that. So
I'm sure you did, but I think well, I think I probably surprised you somewhat with some of my
sure.
picks. So
Okay, cool. All right, let's move right along. This I think is my only non-Marvel couple in this one, and I went kind of old school, like very very old school for this one, and that is Leonidas and Gorgo from the graphic novel 300.
wow, that definitely I had no idea you would go that route.
But yeah,
And I'm sure you went that route because they did have a lovemaking scene in that. So I'm sure that was
nope.
your twisting. Nope.
No, well, no, I'm just saying, like the fact. To me, what settles it is the opening scene where the emissary from Xerxes shows up, and he kind of makes a subtle threat against the family, and she just kind of gives them that nod, and then you get the whole meme moment of "This is Sparta." So to me, that to me makes them, an iconic couple. That they're united in the mission of being the leader of the Spartans. For Leonidas to take up that mantle, and her being completely committed to the cause of leading the Spartan people. So
Yes. Well, I do have to say that that's kind of what I'm going for. Eventually, I hope to get the six-pack ab that he's got there. Nice that you showed that and threw it in my face, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll ever get that, but I wonder if that's even real.
I mean, yeah, we could probably go off on a tangent about how unrealistic body expectations happen for particularly the male heroes. But yeah, we don't need to, I guess, dwell on that.
Yes, yes, I know.
All right.
Okay.
So,
My number three.
yep, you're number three. Old school, but not that old school. We get Batman and Catwoman. So,
Yes, well, actually, it is old school. She first appeared as the cat in Batman #1.
okay,
So, I mean, it's been quite a long running, but it's kind of been an on again, off again relationship,
very much so.
you know. But it's kind of been lately implied that they are something more than just Batman and Catwoman. They are Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle
Okay,
also.
okay.
They've kind of put that out there that, superhero slash, what would you call her? Anti-villain? Or something sort of like that. I don't know how you would, or
Trickster,
anti-hero.
trickster. She's a trickster. That's how I would.
Yeah.
That's how I'd pose it.
So, boy, who does that look like? Michelle Pfeiffer or what?
I guess.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was of course, the new Batman. I can't wait to see who plays Catwoman in that.
It's Zoe
So,
Kravitz.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how that pans out. We've
Yep.
gone through quite a few different Catwomen,
Yes, we have.
so very good.
All right.
Now we're getting close to number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. So I'll go ahead right into it. And I picked some of my favorites, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. This is from New Avengers. They actually end up getting married in I think the first annual for New Avengers. But yeah, it's unlikely couple. They kind of had a drunken fling, and then she became pregnant, and Luke Cage steps up and wants to commit.
Did the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. So like that.
Which that picture with the little baby like that, that could almost be another one of his muscles.
Mm.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow, big guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that choice. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I like
I
that.
can't wait to see what your number one is, man. But
it's pretty un uh it's I'm trying to think of the right word. Common, basic, you'll see once it gets up. It's
okay,
not that it won't be that surprising, I should say.
I have to say that my number two, the male has a much more defined muscles
Oh, you think so?
than, well, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Go to this one you're talking about.
Oh, well, if you had a better picture, but hey, it's because he eats spinach,
Right.
you know. And I got to tell you, he is pretty much, Olive is the oldest as far as what we've gone through so far. The strip used to be called the Thimble Theater,
Okay.
and it came out in, oh my gosh, I know I wrote it down somewhere, 1919.
Okay. Yeah.
When it first came out. But Popeye was not her boyfriend then.
Hmm.
Her boyfriend's name was Harold Hamgravy.
Okay.
And actually, Harold Hamgravy and Olive's brother, Castor Oil, hired Popeye to, take a shipment or go get a shipment of something. They were always doing schemes. So it was 10 years before Olive and Popeye ever got together. But they are, as far as I know, the oldest couple. Their relationship is they have like a 93-year-old anniversary. That's how long they've been together, 93 years.
Wow.
So
who know that these old comic strips have that much drama in them?
oh yeah, it's crazy to think about it. In 1919, people probably looked at them more for the stories and just, the pictures or what have you.
Sure.
But just like with the Dagwood sandwich, I don't know if you can still find them, but they do have Popeye spinach you can buy in a can.
Yeah.
And other things also. There's also Popeye's chicken, and quite a few other things that bear his name. So happy 93rd anniversary, guys.
Indeed. Okay. All right. So we got number ones coming up. Let's do our honorable mentions. I know for me, I have to look it up actually. I know I had on my list Gambit and Rogue from the X-Men. That's always an interesting relationship. The fact that they're in love and she can't even touch him because of her powers. I also had down Clint and Laura Barton because that's, I think, as a dad, I kind of relate to him the most out of all the Avengers, and getting to see their relationship, particularly with the Hawkeye series, that was really good. So yeah, so those were kind of my honorable mentions.
As not the fact that your Disney face character is Clint and Piper's is the new Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
Or Lady Hawkeye. Or every time I see that, I smile, because my granddaughter does kind of look like her a little bit.
Not at all. That's okay.
Well, I have an interesting one that you probably didn't think about, or maybe you didn't even know about it. There was a time that Daredevil went to California in San Francisco.
Yep.
And there was another character that was with him at that time, Natasha.
So, yeah. Matt Murdock has gotten around. Certainly, he's definitely been with a lot of ladies. So
yes. So I thought about that one. Yeah. I also thought about Wolverine and Jean Grey /
Yeah.
Cyclops,
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was quite a few that you could have put on this list. And at this time, I'd like to, challenge any of our listeners that to give us their top five.
Sure. Yeah.
We would love to hear from you and see what your top five is.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, let's go get to our number ones. Like I
Drum
said,
roll, please.
yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of obvious, I guess, but I went with the typical Spider-Man and Mary Jane. I took a picture from the Tom McFarlane era because obviously kind of a fan of that era.
Yes.
But yeah, and it's also the age where Peter's not, a teenager anymore. He's, an adult. They're married. They're living together, and they're trying to make it through, as a young couple in New York City. So that's my pick.
That's a great story too. Yeah, I thought about Spider-Man Mary Jane and I even thought about the Gwen Stacy relationship, but
yeah,
after our show last week, I thought I would just leave it there. That was kind of the idea for us going with this in the first place.
That's true. Yeah.
So I figured we already discussed it somewhat.
Yeah.
But I am going to go real old school.
Yeah, I guess you are. Let's do the reveal there.
Yes. Happy 88th anniversary for Lois and Clark.
Wow.
Or Lois and Superman.
Yeah.
The intriguing thing about this is that most of the years when this became part of the story,
yeah,
Superman was pretty much trying to be, standing in the back and not showing any partiality towards her.
Yeah.
Even though as Clark Kent, he really loved her.
Yeah.
And her, on the other hand, who couldn't tell that the guy with glasses was the same guy without the glasses. Right. She was enamored with Superman, and she thought Clark was just, a dummy, type of thing. So that kind of went that way for years and years and years and years till they finally chose, which I don't know exactly when it first started, but it was definitely 70s, 80s before they started to develop this I know who you are, But 88 years for the relationship, the love triangle between Superman and Lois, 1934. So Popeye and Dagwood and Blondie been around a little bit longer than they have, but they're definitely old school.
Yeah, and I just noticed in this picture we got Crypto the super dog in the background, which is kind of funny.
Yes, the pet dog that that's had multiple origin stories, but we're not going to talk about superheroes and their pets. Although we could probably do a show about that too.
Well, there is the Super Pets coming out. I think it's this year or next year, so I'm sure we can do.
It's definitely this year. I seen the trailer for it when we went to go see the No Way Home. Not the No Way Home, the last Spider-Man movie. Yeah, No Way Home, right?
You got it right. You got it right.
Man, it's tough when you get old, man.
That's okay. All right, so that's kind of the list. Again, we would encourage you to share your top five. And
right, it's a short episode, pretty much.
Yeah, there's not much to it, right?
No, and there's no ratings other than my list is right and your list is,
Okay.
No, actually, I enjoyed what you chose. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that you really have to think about.
Yeah.
Because there are quite a few. You could, if you wanted to get into it, Mickey Mouse and Minnie, Donald and, Daisy. There's hundreds of relationships, High and Lois.
Yeah. I'm just glad you didn't pick the Lockhorns.
No, I didn't. I didn't. And I didn't pick Baby Blues or
Right.
thank God. There's a lot of them. I even thought about Charlie Brown and the little red-haired girl.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's so many. So I mean,
Yeah.
Again, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, totally.
It would be awesome.
All right, good. Well, thank you all for joining us again. Tell us your top 5, and we'll see you next week with something new. Goodbye. God bless.
Goodbye. God bless. And tell your friends.